So this idea, this YOLO, you only live once, and like, yeah, keep doing that. And when you're 50 and Social Security's ran out and all that stuff, it's like you're gonna start looking back and you're like, damn, I wish someone told me so.
One of my mentors says is that, if you do the thing that's easy now, then life will be harder later. If you do the thing that's hard now, then life will be easy later.
There's just nothing better than fulfillment. There's nothing better than laying your head down and be like, I gave not just my all to paying somebody's bills, but to setting someone free mentally.
This is an Iwegbu production.
Period.
So recently I was going through some of these Instagram streets as usual, and I came up on this clip from Revolt TV. Had our guy Da Vinci, who is from, if you ever watched BMF, he's one of the actors in there, and he said something that I thought needed to be spotlighted. I said that this actually needs to be viral. I want you guys to hear this. Hold on one moment.
This country, you guys baby the shit out of grown men and women, which is insanity. It is this concept in America that it's like, you guys are telling people that, oh, he's in his 20s, he's a kid. It's like, no, you're not. Like, you're giving a person an excuse. So I just want to say, when you're in your teenage years, take that serious. A lot of us think, oh, we're so young, we could just do whatever. Like, people think their 20s is to waste them. I played my cards right in my 20s, and I'm still in my 20s, and now my parents are retired. God don't give you years to waste, otherwise you wouldn't have them. So this idea, this YOLO, you only live once, and like, yeah, keep doing that. And when you're 50 and Social Security's ran out and all that stuff, it's like you're gonna start looking back and you're like, damn, I wish someone told me so. I definitely want to tell people who's watching, like, don't waste your younger years. Stop the notion of, I'm so young and I have so much time. You don't know what could happen to you tomorrow. And just take your life serious, because you have generations that's depending on it.
Man, listen, I thought that was such a profound statement to make. So big, and I wanted to bring this to our pillow talking community. It's not necessarily narrowed in on the relationship part, but it does play some factors in, and just hear me out on this. As one thing that I've noticed is generations continue to get younger, and they're younger in basically in character. So right now, I feel like 30 is like the new 20, 40 is like the new 30, and people are just growing up slow. And I like people are just maturing very slow. And as the generations get, go further, it gets worse and worse. Like, I believe we were a little bit more spoiled than my mom's generation that was before us, and so on and so forth. And we continue to see this trickling effect that happens, that it's like, you know what, I'm young, so who cares necessarily what I do in my younger years. And I wanted to bring this up because a lot of our crowd that looks at our videos, and I was looking at the demographics, is around 25 to that 34 area. And I just remember being in my 20s, and I believe I took it more serious than what most people did. But because I didn't realize some of my traumas, we didn't have as much YouTube, we didn't have as much social media as we have right now. I tried to fill up a lot of my areas of insecurities, things that needed to really be dealt with dealing with women. And I see this now played out a lot of times by brothers in their 20s. They want to hit the club still. They want to still pop the bottles. They still want to play back and forth with women. And about time you hit your 30s, you didn't just graduated and built you an agency of baby mamas or some other type of issues that you've gotten. You got a whole bunch of baggage that you've gotten through that time. And I just believe that it's one of those areas of time that's so important, but we just overlook it. We just kind of coast through. You hear it in the music about just, like you say, YOLO, just you young, you through your 20s, you're supposed to be making a bunch of mistakes, which you will. But I believe that so much information is at your fingertips now that you should be better than the generations ahead of you. It's a proverb that says that, like, wise man learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
A fool has to learn from his own, man. And I think that's big. And it's what he's talking about here. It's like, listen, you can go through your 20s, wild out, mess with as many women as you want to, ladies sleep with as many men. I see now so many, I can't even believe it. that I see so many women now acting like dudes sometimes, like how dudes used to be. They like smashing and leaving, and it's promoted in music with some of these female artists when it comes to it. And so I wanted to broadcast this because I believe that this is the first time I've seen somebody in their 20s say, hey, listen, pause, y'all. I'm in my 20s and I just retired my mom. What?
Crazy.
He said, I retired. I'm not even 30 yet. And he's on a hit TV show. I can bet you his time is not consumed with women.
Yeah.
I can bet you that. I wish somebody would have shook me or something. Probably need to slap me and say, dude, break it. Like, hey, listen, you need to go to therapy. You need to go get some stuff. I can tell you missing some stuff there. You need to go get this stuff taken care of because again, I look back at some of these lessons I try to give it here because man, some of that time was valuable time that was wasted and it made 30s harder. Yeah. And it's one of the things I believe one of my mentors says is that, if you do the thing that's easy now, then life will be harder later. If you do the thing that's hard now, then life will be easy later. Yeah. And so that's a message to somebody in their 20s. And so one of the things I'm gonna give you just a few steps in what I think you should be doing if you in your teens and your 20s. And I believe that I'm really good at dealing with this particular group of people because this time is so consequential and they don't even realize it. Yeah. Like I'm seeing, babe, young, early 20s people, 2021, like doing nothing. I'm talking about not really going into careers. If they're not going to college, they just chilling, playing video games or, chilling with their friends, drinking and doing a bunch of nothing. I was like, dang, at 18, I was working with grownups and people aren't really moving. But I think there's some things that you could do in your 20s that could really help you take off into your 30s. Number one, get your faith right. Get your faith right, man. Lock in with Jesus, man. If you choose his ways now, it may be so tough, but it will be a blessing later. When I look at some of the people that I now take notes from, these are people that aren't really, to be honest with you, that older than me. Yeah. They're around my age, but they're at least a decade ahead of progress than me. Why? Because typically they were already locked in with the Lord early. They got into a community. They was having Bible study and playing ball with brothers. They was doing all of those things while I was with the next chick and I was trying to go to the next club. That's what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And so they did those things. So I think number one, and this is really big, like I said, get your faith right. Number two, find your calling, what it is that you truly want to do. I think that a lot of times within the 20s, we go through nothing jobs. They have nothing to do with the purpose that God is truly calling us to. If I knew about personality tests, like the DISC assessment and all that could have really let me know, okay, these are your strengths. Working your strengths. Stay away from your weaknesses and things. It could have put me so much further along. And so I believe that you need to figure that out. I think a great book that can help you find your calling is Your Purpose is Calling by Dr. Darius. Really, really good book. I'm like, this is major. If you can go through that book and read it, he has some practical steps that can help you find your purpose and calling there. And also get someone to build with in your 20s. So I would say if you can, early 20s would be great to find your person for the rest of your life.
They probably say, sir, we wish.
Oh yeah, I wish. That's very rare. But I think it'd be great and ideal, maybe mid to late 20s, to really find that person who you want to live the rest of your life with and do life with in partnership, that they match up with whatever it is that God is calling you to do. Again, one of the things that I looked at, and I just studied patterns because I've been big at looking at my own patterns and what could I have done better? And I've also looked at what are guys that are ahead, what did they do right? A lot of them got married in their early to mid 20s. They locked it down with her. So that's out the way. Now I can work on building the business. Now I can work on the music career. Now I can go and do all these other things. I don't have to worry about relationships. Now I'm going to have to worry about keeping my marriage together. That's something to learn through. About time you hit your late 30s or something, y'all thriving. The business is built. All those things are in full force at that time. So if you can find your person now, stay out of these streets, man. stay out of it. I believe that, you can really be blessed there. And again, in your 30s, 40s, 50s and all that, because you don't have to play so much of catch up. So I think this was a big time, a great statement by Da Vinci. What you think about this, babe?
Yeah, this made me think about two different sides of like him basically saying, pay attention to your life. There isn't a time that you should start caring. You should just care about how you're moving. And of course, for singles, we always tell y'all, like, yes, lock in with the Lord. And it's a beautiful thing to be married because, I think about something that my mom would say when girls were like it's like almost girls that are like in heat, like there's like this irritation and agitation, and then they get married and they calm down. But like before they get married, they're like, man, I just want to get married. I just want a man. I just want TK, you married. Like I'm trying to get, like they have like this super like then they get married and they settle down. And it's like that's really a thing when you don't have to worry about seeking a partner and you can just fully dive into your freaking calling. It's a beautiful thing. And so we're going to talk until we're blue in the face when it comes to, if y'all are young, I know a lot of y'all are older and I'm gonna speak to y'all too, but if you are young watching this, man, there is no greater time than now to work on yourself. Even though I got married really young, I got married when I was 22. People like try to make it seem like they want to go and figure themselves out and then get married. And it's like, why y'all figuring yourselves out? Diseases, baby mamas, baby daddies, heartbreak. And you can just be a really different person than who God created you to be by the time you do get married. And so your mind isn't even right. So First of all, I want to say to the young people, look at us, look at the mistakes, look at what we're fighting through, just to like some things we just shouldn't even be fighting through. But we're fighting through it because of sin. We're fighting through it because we didn't pay attention to certain, just bad decisions that we were making. But those who are married, I want to speak to a different aspect of this is like waiting, step into purpose. I see so many married people who are just working 9 to 5. Like so many people I think look up to us because we do this together. And it's like, y'all can too. Like you can get on your Zoom. You can teach the classes together. You can have the Bible study in your home. It is such a beautiful thing to have two people who love each other, who like each other and are doing kingdom work. So even if you got the man, if you got the woman, are you in purpose? Are you going to the classes? Are you getting in the room? Are you and your husband studying together late at night? Like things that we work on webs. Namdi's in the room working on the website. I'm over here making the videos. He's, every day just working toward kingdom things, because I just feel like there's just nothing better than fulfillment. There's nothing better than laying your head down and be like, I gave not just my all to paying somebody's bills, but to setting someone free mentally, changing someone's perspective. And so Namdi shared this thing, I guess I can't even speak about it. You shared this video with me that you watched last night. And it was talking about, you told me like whenever you want to be lazy or whenever you want to quit, like think about and press through. And he shared this. He was so enthused by it. I'm like, sir, in my mind, I'm like, that's literally my life. Like my life is getting back at the enemy. Every moment of peace that was stolen from me, every moment of joy that was stolen from me, every heartbreak, disappointment of relationships, that's the fuel that I thrive off of to go and become the best version of myself. And so whatever you need to fuel you, if that's your kids, I mean, it should be your kids, you should want to do more than work a job. You should everyone is going after being an entrepreneur, but it's not just being an entrepreneur, it's being free. It's being able to have options that you can present for your kids. And so, yes, take life serious. Yes, this is Namdi's subject more because he works with older people. So people are always, reaching the end of life on his end, because I feel like I was on the end of not taking life as serious as well. Just like, using my gifts here and there, but we putting the foot on the gas this year.
Yeah, you can't get none of the time back.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Like 5 years gonna go by regardless. You might as well, if it's something that you was thinking about, you might as well start the podcast. You might as well go and go into that program. If you still in the schooling thing, you wanted to be a doctor, you might as well. The years are gonna happen regardless.
Yeah.
You will look up and it will happen. And I'm maybe not the hero as much in our story. I kind of talk about what I see that we could have done, or I could have did better in some instances. And so I tell people, like, I have a passion, like you said, you get fired up about what the enemy took from you. Like how he confused you and blinded you with euphoric fog of women and all this other type of stuff. And it's like, nah, now I got it. Nah, man, the Lord, because my situation isn't as bad as what it should have been. Real talk. God's grace is so sufficient. When I look at it, I got a life that's way better than I deserve. And I'm like, dude, I could have been paying that per month. I could have been doing this. And it's looked like God kept me through that. And it's like, okay, Lord, your grace has found me. You know, let me at least go back and alert my people. Yeah. I got to go and alert. So it's like, yeah, you may hear some of these things. And like you said, we're going to talk till we blue in the face. Like, no, I don't want you to waste this time. I was just talking to somebody in their early 20s who I was mentoring. I'm just like, man, listen, whatever, like that hurdle that you're on right now, come on, let's go. We got to get past that.
That's why you got to get around people that are doing something and they have a testimony of the other side.
Yeah.
And also to see the people that don't have the testimony of the side. Look at your uncle them that didn't do nothing with their life. If you keep going in the direction that you're going, that's where you're going to end up. And so, yeah, I think what keeps me honestly is just knowing that God has such a calling on my life, and I want to see him and he'd be like, you did your big one on earth. Like you really did that.
Yeah. This is an Iwegbu production.
Period.
Hey, thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you could do us a huge favor, please hit that like button and please subscribe.
Yes, and please do not forget to hit that notification bell. We need y'all to be locked in every single time we drop this fire content. Yes. Also, we need y'all to follow us on all social media platforms at the Iwegbus. And look, we will see y'all on the next video.